Remember that? These are the judges down here. Can I pay you guys now, or do we want to wait till after the show? That's how we do it in Arkansas. Which leads people to sometimes say the 5 most feared words of an Arkansas politician. Will the defendant please rise? Band is great. Thank you guys. You're terrific. Let's hear it for the band. Quite honestly, I have no idea why I'm here. They said this is DC's funniest celebrities. I don't live in DC. I'm not funny. And I'm obviously not a celebrity. And if you think I am, let me explain to you. When I started running for president, you realize how embarrassing it is to go to places and nobody knows that you're running for president? My press secretary and I went to Colorado. We were doing an event. All these stories I'm telling you are true. They're not like the things you're used to hearing in Washington. So we go to the rental car counter. And we give them the credit card, and on the credit card it has Huckabee for president. So she gives it to the clerk. The clerk looks up and says, Huckabee for president. President of what? I swear to God, that's a true story. It's pretty embarrassing. People wondered how we lasted so long. Part of it was that we saved money by doing very frugal things, like staying in hotels that you would never stay in. Hotels that I would never stay in again. Always go online, they'd find the cheapest place. We were in Houston, near Hobby Airport, which in itself is really someplace you do not want to be. Not even in daylight, much less after dark. This is honestly the truth. I got to the hotel, it was so bad. I called my wife, I said, I'm the only person in this hotel who has sleeves. Everybody here speaks in a foreign language. They all smoke. The place smells like the back end of a barbecue grill. And I said, if I don't call you by 7 in the morning, call 911 in Houston and tell them to look for my body in a chalk outline somewhere on the front, because this place is horrible. And I said, you know, I'm into saving money. I get that. But we got to upgrade the hotel facilities where we're staying. And we kind of did. We went to Motel 6. Boy, that was exciting. By the way, you know, this is an unusual experience for me to be in front of a crowd like this where, you know, this open bar and all this stuff. I mean, I'm a Baptist, we're teetotalers, and we don't normally into that. But I would really appreciate if all of you would get really drunk, because the jokes are a lot funnier when you're smashed. And it may never, ever be a time, but I would encourage people to get into heavy drinking. But for the next few minutes, if your neighbor has something they haven't downed, go ahead, take it. You will be glad you did, and I darn sure will be glad you did. Well, one of the things that happened over the course of the months of the campaign was that I went from the clerk who didn't know what I was running for to finally, after, you know, months and the Chuck Norris endorsement and a few cool things like that, where he said, I'm going to kick your tail if you don't vote for this guy. You know, people then, by the end of the campaign, when I no longer needed it, started recognizing me. And I now go through airports and people come up to me and, you know, there's 2 types of reactions. One is the reaction from the person who's a political junkie, like most of you here, who say, hey, Governor Huckabee, I voted for you. And everybody who comes up to me says, I just want you to know, my wife and I, we voted for you. Look, folks, if everybody who says they voted for me actually voted for me, I'd be running around with Sarah Palin right now. But it's nice to hear that. But the other reaction I get is from the people who have seen me do something on television. They have no idea exactly who I am. They just know they recognize me. They're not sure why. They're not sure if I ran for president or sold them a used car last year. But the funniest reaction, and I've had this happen, once I've had it happen 50 times. Somebody will come up to me and they'll look like this and they'll say, are you who I think you are? I want you to think about that for a minute. How do I know what they're thinking? And so when they say, are you who I think you are? I just start saying, well, most people think I look like Brad Pitt. What do you think, huh? And they just turn with this terrible look in their face and say, no, it wasn't me at all. And they walk away. But it ends the discussion. I've had some people in Seattle. I was in an airport. People thought that I was the anchor of the Atlanta, Georgia television station. Pays pretty good. I'm thinking going down there and checking that out. I had an interesting experience in Salt Lake City. I was changing planes and the guy came up to me and he had this whoa look on his face. And I thought, oh, he's going to tell me he voted for me. Instead, he said, man, it's good to see you again. And I'm thinking, okay, again? I don't remember you, but yeah, great to see you again. He said, boy, it's been a long time. I thought, partner, it's been longer than you think it has. And finally, then he started saying, yeah, when we worked up there at Ogden at that factory, and he started talking about working with him at a factory in Ogden, Utah. And I said, whoa, whoa, excuse me, sir, I need to tell you something. I've never lived in Ogden, Utah, never been to Ogden, and I've never worked in a factory. You must have me mistaken with somebody else, as my feelings were crushed. Anyway, he looked at me, and here's what he said. I'm not kidding you. He said, yeah, you worked up there all right. I remember you. Yeah, that's right. It's a part of my life I absolutely don't remember. All the more reason, by gosh, if I don't remember stuff like that, I should be president right now. Well, craziest moment was on a flight out of Atlanta. I'm in the aisle seat, and the guy next to me in the middle, big guy. Always a big guy in the middle seat next to you when you're in one of those crammed airplanes. And as people are coming down the aisle, folks are saying things like, hey, good race, Governor. Most of them are saying, I voted for you. Of course you did. You betcha. Now, the guy sitting beside me, I could see out of the corner of my eye that he was trying to put it all together. He knew that I'd been a governor, I'd run for something, and that everybody in the airplane had voted for me but him. And I finally could see this light go on in his face. He turned to me and said, hey, I know who you are. You're Mitt Romney. I asked to be reseated. Yeah, we had some interesting people run for president in our party. You know, mentioned Mitt, who had more positions than an underage Chinese gymnast on most every issue. And then there was Fred Thompson. I heard Fred actually ran. I didn't see him out there. Every day we'd say, you know, Fred gets up at the crack of noon. And does at least tries to get in one event before 2, and rests for the afternoon and squeezes one more in before 5, and then calls it a day. Tough life. We've had a great time out there on the campaign trail, and I'm wondering every day, how come I'm not still there? I was really hurt. I mean, John McCain didn't even vet me. It's okay, didn't vet Sarah Palin either, so I guess it's all right. But the good thing for me was that, you know, he did offer a consolation prize. He called and said, look, I'm sorry I didn't even think about you. Sorry you were never on the list, but I've got a special gift for you. A hunting trip with Dick Cheney. Well, you know, all this talk about Sarah Palin's qualifications, look, it's nonsense. This is a lady who can go into the woods, shoot a moose, and field dress it. Now, folks, when she can do that with a lawyer, she's more qualified than Dick Cheney. You didn't like that one? It's a little rough. You ever seen a lawyer field dressed? They eat pretty good in Arkansas. We fry them up. Good stuff. This is a rough rim. You really do need to drink more. I'm Mike Huckabee. Thank you, guys. It's been a pleasure.
Great job there, Governor. I'm going to take the sign.